Superheroes being turned into trees. It's the theme of not one, but two different comic books I'll be showing you in this comic book editions video today. Thank you for joining me. Before we get started looking at my recent acquisitions to my collection, I want to thank my friend Mr. Fridge Art for helping me with the thumbnail for today's video. I had an idea of what I wanted it to look like, started working on it myself, and then ran into a snag. So I contacted him. He helped me out immensely, made it look better than I ever thought it even could. So thank you, Mr. Fridge Art, for your contribution to today's video. For your friendship, you've always been there for me for years upon years in my life. It means the world to me. Check him out on Instagram. His handle is Mr. Fridge Art, and you'll see some of the artwork that he posts. You won't be disappointed. While we're giving out thank yous, let's turn to the YouTube side of things and salute some recent subscribers to my channel. Kaya B and T Ravis Comics, that's T-Ravis Comics, new and recent subscribers to my channel. Thank you. If you are a new or recent subscriber to my channel and haven't received a shout out yourself, make sure to contact me. It's probably because your settings are set to private, so I didn't see the subscription come through. But I want to make sure that everyone gets acknowledged on my channel. I couldn't do it without you, and your support of my YouTube channel means the world to me. So let's make sure we get you recognized with a shout out. If you want to be shouted out in a featured video, just subscribe to the channel. It's simple as that. Let's turn now to the books that we have to share today. Pit number 1 by Image Comics. If you are a longtime follower of my channel, you might think that this is kind of an odd choice to see in a comic book editions video for me, and you wouldn't be wrong. This so much isn't my cup of tea, but it was a free bonus gift that was included from the seller when I purchased the books. This book and the next book I'm going to show you were bonuses. I did read the story, gave it a chance. Wasn't quite what I was into, but the book is in amazing condition, and I'll hold on to it for a while. The other bonus book that I received in my order is Justice League International Special number 2, featuring the Huntress. I'm a fan of the Huntress, but I really like the pre-crisis Huntress. She changed dramatically post-crisis, and this is a post-crisis story. It pretty much is a Huntress solo story with the JLI guest starring, despite what the billing says. It was worth my time to read it, even if it wasn't my favorite. Still glad I checked it out, though, and have it for my collection. Now jumping into the books that I specifically went after. Fantastic Four, number 164. This book is heating up a lot. It's the reintroduction of Marvel Boy as the Crusader. It's also the first appearance of Frankie Ray. We have a nice Jack Kirby cover here, but the interior is the first George Perez Fantastic Four. From what I understand, this issue and the next issue, which I need to get, were originally intended to be Fantastic Four annuals. Something happened which caused the annual to be canceled, and that work turned into 164 and 165. And I've read an article with George Perez who says that those books really led him into a friendship with Stan Lee. So that's super cool. I picked up another Fantastic Four book because the price certainly was right. And that's Fantastic Four number 178. Definitely this era of the Fantastic Four that I'm showing you is my wheelhouse. These books, surprisingly, overall, for the most part, are very affordable yet. So I want to fill in as much of this gap of my collection as I can in the future. Marvel 2-in-1, issue number 51. This features The Thing teaming up with the Beast, Ms. Marvel, Nick Fury, and Wonder Man. So it's an interesting story of a poker game that got interrupted. I'm also trying to fill in as many of the guest appearances of Ms. Marvel as I can. Ms. Marvel in that black lightning bolt suit is my jam. And I didn't have this one. There's a nice little Wonder Woman reference in this issue as well, where Thing meets Wonder Man, Simon, for the very first time. And in that panel, Ben says that he doesn't care if he's Linda Carter, he just wants to get the card game underway. Speaking of Wonder Man, here he is in a very different costume from Avengers number 152. Very, very minor key in the fact that it's the first appearance of Black Stallion. Good story, though, as the Avengers travel to New Orleans. Nightmare in New Orleans. On the DC side of things, DC Comics presents number 11 finds Superman teaming up with Hawkman. This is an upgrade copy for me, as I had one that was very well loved and enjoyed from my childhood, but the price was too good to pass up for a nicer copy of it, so I threw that in with my order, brought back some memories as well when I was reading it. Here's a special book that I've wanted for quite some time. I've alluded to this book in the past few videos. See, I already completed my 2020 comic book goals back issue want list. So I've started putting together an idea of what my 2021 comic book want list goals were going to be. And I think this book was going to be my number one goal to get in 2021. What happened was some unexpected money fell my way. And it was almost enough money to cover the entire cost of this book. I knew it was a sign. I didn't hesitate at all in scooping this one up. Justice League of America, number 9. Ironically, it's not the oldest issue of Justice League that's in my personal collection. This is a key in the fact that it's the origin of the Justice League, although later on in issue 144, they would claim that there was an earlier get-together/origin of the JLA. But for the most part, I think that story has been forgotten about, and this is considered the true origin of the Justice League. I also, maybe about a month before I ordered this, saw this book at a comic book store in much worse condition than what I have. The Flash was faded out. The entire cover was faded, but the Flash was almost faded to the point that he wasn't even pink. He was white. But it was so weird that just the Flash had been faded out to almost white, while the rest of the book was just faded, and the price was a lot more expensive in a lot less good of shape than what I ended up scooping this one up for. I am so excited to have this book in my collection. I've wanted it for, ever since I started collecting, I've wanted this book. And now I have one, and I couldn't be happier. Of course, I'll have to do a little bit of revisions to what my 2021 number 1 book will be, but that's not a problem at all. And I promised you a second comic book cover that showed a superhero turning into a tree, and that would be Superman as a tree in Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, issue number 112. It is nothing but pure coincidence that I would end up getting these two books with very similar covers in such a short time period. As a matter of fact, the Justice League book continues and concludes the issues that I got from one seller. Now we're turning to some books that I picked up through eBay. And when I was purchasing a book that you're about to see later on in the lot, I looked to see what else the seller had so I could make the most out of the shipping that I was going to pay. And this was the only Lois Lane book that they had, but it was in really nice shape. And the price was super low. So I decided to pick it up. And like I said, pure coincidence that we have a little bit of a superhero as a tree theme going on in this comic book editions video with this haul. The story was interesting, as some of the stories from this time period certainly are in the Lois Lane title. Certainly was interesting, fun. And, since Superman is missing as a tree on the cover of Justice League number 9, I guess we can, I guess I could, if I wanted to, I could Photoshop him in the cover of number 9. But there we go. We have it. We got it taken care of. No repeats on this channel. This book, I had no copies of Silver Age Hawkman until I picked up issue number 13. I've wanted some Silver Age Hawkman for quite some time. I certainly would love to get some more Silver Age Hawkman for my collection, but at least I have one now. One is better than none, I found out. Very good book. Nice go-go checks there at the top. What stands out the most to me, I think it's in the second story, where a queen has come to claim Hawkman to be her king. Well, you know what that results in? That results in Hawkgirl giving her a big old bitch slap. And there is no other way to say it but a big old bitch slap, because that's exactly what that queen got when she tried to take Shiera's man. Too good of a price to pass up for this Hawkman too, especially since I was combining shipping. Another book that I love is Super Team Family. This is issue number 4. Now, the cover is original, but the entire interior is a reprint of All-Star Comics number 33. I'd never read All-Star Comics number 33. Really enjoyed it. A nice Solomon Grundy story. The book also contains a secondary story with Superman, Batman, and Robin. I think that's from World's Finest, if I'm not mistaken. And since we're on the family topic of things, I've mentioned before how I want to try to fill out my Batman family comics. I recently got issue number 1, and now I have issue number 2. The cover is a recreation of Detective number 369. The original formula of the Batman family comic books, especially in the early days, was one original story followed by reprints. This issue, to my knowledge, is the only one that breaks that format where the entire book are reprinted stories. Great stories they picked, though. I really enjoyed it. Like Hawkman, I want to get some more Batman family books in my collection, too. Karate Kid, issue number 2. Of course, Karate Kid is famous from jumping out of the Legion of Superheroes into his own series. This is a book that, I'll be very honest with you, I wasn't very familiar with, but I really had wanted Karate Kid issue number 14. Here you'll see that we just revealed issue number 12. Well, I bought a lot of 5 comic books of Karate Kid because I found I could get the lot of 5 comic books cheaper than it would cost me just to get issue number 14 alone. So why not maximize that and get a bunch of books? I've just started reading these in recent days, and I have to tell you, I really enjoy them. I'm glad I picked it up. Bronze Age, as you've heard me say so many times, is the era of comic books that I love the most. And I don't know if it's just because it's that Bronze Age magic that I just love, but these books have really entertained me. You'll see here in 12, Superboy's guest starring. Legion of Superheroes shows up in the last page. And then all that continues in the next issue, issue number 13. Now, the real reason, as I said, I wanted Karate Kid number 14. I was just kind of after that book just by itself, but it was a better deal to get this lot of 5 issues. So Karate Kid number 14, you'll see it guest stars Robin. What I heard was that Wonder Woman makes a cameo appearance. And then the more reading I did on it, I know that there was a DC Comics Presents book, I think it was 22 with Captain Comet, where Wonder Woman makes a guest appearance. She's in like one page, maybe 3 or 4 different panels from one different page up in the JLA satellite. And the more I read on this, that it was not even that much of a cameo appearance, that she might just be in one panel. And that was the case with it. She only appears in one panel as the JLA are referenced in the story. That's okay, though. I still wanted the book nonetheless. The final issue of Karate Kid was issue number 15. After this issue, the story continued in Commandy number 58. You know, since Karate Kid only lasted 15 issues and I have a third of the issues already, I think I might, if the price is right, I might be interested in filling in the remaining ones that I'm missing out on. Because like I said, surprisingly, pleasant surprise, wasn't a series I was after, but it's something that I did enjoy. And the final book that I picked up was X-Men number 114. I could rave about this book for quite some time. First of all, it's been a while since I've added a Bronze Age X-Men into my collection. And shame on me for waiting so long to do that. I need to do that because those books do nothing but increase in value. But the stories, even after all of these years, are so good. I mean, here we're in that Chris Claremont, John Byrne era that is raved about for reasons that it should be raved about. It's fantastic. On Tuesday nights, I watch an X-Men omnibus review with Justin, aka No Good Comics, and John's Comics with Kids. It rotates between those two channels, KNOW, No Good Comics, and John's Comics with Kids, Tuesday night. They started with Giant Size X-Men number 1, then went into X-Men 94, and they do one issue each week back and forth, just kind of dissecting the stories and talking about it. I love that. It's appointment viewing for me on YouTube when Tuesday nights roll around, and I absolutely love the show. And it brings back so many great memories. It makes me want to finish up the X-Men books that I need in my collection because I would love to get that era, from Giant Size X-Men #1 up until like the 150s. I have several scattered issues in there that I need to fill in. As a matter of fact, I don't think I had any X-Men books that were in the 110s, like 110 to 119. I don't think I had any of those. So 114 has a fantastic cover too. I mean, you can't go wrong with a cover like that. And the read was so enjoyable. As I said, I could just go on and on and on about bragging on this book and this comic. I'm so glad I picked this up. So the books that I had to show you today came from two different sellers. The books, starting with Lois Lane to the end here, I picked up on eBay through Anthony's Comic Art and Collectibles. I've been a customer of theirs in the past, but it's been a while since I purchased from them, and back then I think I just purchased original art from them. So this was my first comic purchase with them. I want to tell you something. You hear so many people, at least I do, in the videos that I watch, kind of not happy with the service that they've received. I got top-notch service from Anthony's Comic Art and Collectibles. They answered my questions. They made me feel like a valued customer. They shipped the books fast, secure, and safe. I can't rave about them enough. People need to take lessons on how to sell comic books from these guys. I just feel so strong about the great service they gave me, and so many people talk about bad service they received. Let's talk about some good service, and this was great service. So hats off to them, and I hope they keep up the great work. I would buy from them again without hesitation, that's for sure. Well, that brings us to the end of this Comic Book Editions video. I thank you so much for joining me and making it all the way to the end. What did you think about the books that I picked up this time? Leave a comment below. Do you have any books of superheroes that have turned into trees? We can talk about that. We can talk about anything that you want to talk about. Karate Kid, should I pick up the rest of the series? I'm on the fence, but I'm leaning more towards yes. Let me know. Let's talk about X-Men. Anything you want to talk about, I want to talk about. So leave a comment below. Continue showing support to this channel, also by subscribing if you're not a subscriber already. That would mean the world to me. Clicking the notification bell will inform you when new content is added to this channel so you don't miss out. You'll be the first to know. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you again for watching this Comic Book Editions video, and have a great rest of your day.